With the successful release of the Mandalorian show, I thought it'd be a great idea to do a side-by-side for Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter is an action-adventure game that was released in 2002 for the PlayStation 2 and GameCube. In 2015, it was added to the PlayStation Store, which is the same exact version as the PS2 game, just looks better because it's upscaled to HD on the PS3 and PS4, and also better frame rate. In 2019, Limited Run Games released a physical copy of that digital version for the PlayStation 4. The story follows Jango Fett, which was first introduced in Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, and the events of this game take place before that. So yes, a prequel. This title is a blast them till they're all dead type of game, but with a twist. You also have bounties that you need to do, so if you run in blasting, you just may kill your bounty. There's a little bit of strategy involved with this game. You get to fly all around with your jetpack while killing all the baddies. Overall, the game is really fun to play. It does get repetitive at times, but I enjoyed my time playing this classic. The reception from the masses, however, was mixed. Most reviewers gave it a 6 out of 10, mostly because of the bad camera controls, which I agree with, but I did get used to them. Star Wars Bounty Hunter began development in March 2001. The PS2 and GameCube versions used different custom in-house graphics engines, where each were designed specifically to take advantages of the two platforms' unique strengths and work around their unique limitations, but the core game engine is identical. Also, real quick, could you guys please hit that like button? It's gonna help this video get discovered with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much. The PS2's DMA bandwidth was taken advantage of to use high number of textures. There is a full screen anti-aliasing and texture mapping support. Also, it used the second VU1 chip to handle all the character skinning and VU0 to handle all the skeletal animation transforms, which enabled dozens of characters to be on screen without bogging down the frame rate. There is more they took advantage of too, but onto the GameCube. On the Cube, they took advantage of the system's fast CPU to achieve a higher frame rate overall and added more polygons to the characters, especially Jango, who has roughly twice the polygon count on the GameCube. They exploited additional memory to improve load times. They implemented projected shadows on all characters and increased draw distance to allow for vista views. They also took a lot more advantages on the Cube, but I can't be here all day. Jango Fett Open Seasons was produced as a tie-in comic, composed of 4 issues released between May and September 2002, and compiled in a trade paperback edition in January 2003. The comic shows the origins of Jango and how he became a Mandalorian warrior. A portion of the comic was available as unlockable bonus material in the game. Let's discuss the frame rate now. The GameCube is by far the best here, as stated earlier. The FPS is locked at 60 frames, very impressive. The PS2 is between 25 and 30 frames. Obviously, a lot lower, but nothing to cry home about. It felt smooth when I played it. The PS4 is mostly 60 frames with some odd dips. But this could just be my software being weird, as I feel it would probably be 60 locked on a PS4. The very first shot of the game, you already see a major difference. Right here on the GameCube, you get a shadow on the big bug thing. The PS2 is lacking this. The Cube also has more contrast, and the PlayStation 2 has this white circle here in the center. If you look at Jango, his armor seems to reflect light better on the PS2. Once the gameplay starts, you can see that Jango also has a shadow on the GameCube, and not on the PS2. Instead, it has one of those circle shadows you used to see on old Madden games. There's that big white circle again, a good shot here of the differences. Looking at the melted metal, you can see they both look different, but I don't have a preference on which one, both look pretty damn good. The GameCube looks a lot better in this shot, even though his armor is darker, seems more shiny, and the shadow on the wall is nice. The aliasing is also better on the Cube. There's a lot of flickering on the PlayStation 2. This is the only gameplay element I noticed that was different. On the Cube, you get a health item here, but not on the PlayStation 2. Looking at this hole, we see that the GameCube is going with an octagon and the PS2 uses a square. When viewing a bounty, the GameCube is very green, whereas a PlayStation, you still get some of the original game colors. Another shot where the aliasing is worse than the PS2. Look here, you can really see the differences. Let's bring the PS4 version in now. This is essentially the same one as the PS2, just better anti-aliasing and crisper visuals. If you look here, Jango looks much better on the PS4, and it will always look sharper compared to the other two. However, it doesn't enhance the textures, as it isn't a remaster, so this is where the GameCube wins, as it used some better textures. Look at the alien's face for example, looks better on the Cube. Moving forward a smidget, the gun isn't good on the GameCube like it is on the other two, but this wall here has better texture quality. To me, Jango looks better on the PS2 versus the GameCube. His armor just seems more shiny. But according to my research, the GameCube version offers a higher polygon count. Then we get to the PS4. It seems that it has some ghosting issues. Starting the game, we can see there is more fog on the GameCube, so possibly better draw distance on the PS2, even though it said the GameCube was better. But then we move closer and it's still all foggy, and not a draw distance thing at all, so I guess it's a design choice when creating the Cube version. Right before the cutscene starts playing, the PS2 and the PS4 will display a loading text. The GameCube fades to black and pretty much instantly starts playing the cutscene. But god damn, this level is ugly on the Cube. Let's pick a new one. But first, the loading screen. On the PS2, you get a loading bar. On the GameCube, no bar. When viewing the city, the bridge on the PS4 is showing its beauty with the added anti-aliasing. Looking at the GameCube, they went with a smoothing effect to fight the jaggies. This is generally what FXAA does, but I don't know if that is what is happening here. Look at the bridge and this building, it is more blurry on the Cube, but the PS2 has more aliasing. Moving along, look at this rooftop. I believe on the PS2/PS4, it is glitching. Looks more accurate in the GameCube. The balcony looks like wood here and a blurry mess here, but lots of aliasing on the PS2. Moving along, we do see the blurry balcony again on the Cube, but what I want to really point out is the added polygons on Jango's rocket here versus here. On this shot, you see that his belt is completely different on the GameCube. Also, you don't see this rectangle thing on his chest armor. I'm going to toss away the PS4 now. It is the PS2 version after all, just with better anti-aliasing and higher resolution, so we know that it's going to be the sharpest version. I'm more interested in comparing PS2 versus GameCube at this point. When going up these steps, the GameCube stairs are a bright reddish pink color, where the PS2 is a more of a brown color. I personally like the Cube's steps. Overall, Jango looks pretty even on both, but while comparing him, I noticed the cutscenes on the GameCube are more zoomed out. Both are very comparable, but the GameCube offers the shadows and the PS2 offers better textures. Well, sometimes. In this case, it's the dirt here that is better. And even when you move forward a bit, the PS2's ground and rocks still look better. It's true the PS2 shows more aliasing on the ground, but the blurriness on the Cube bugs me more in this instance. I do hate aliasing, but it isn't really that bad here. This building would be an example where I prefer the more blurry GameCube graphics versus the PS2's terrible aliasing here. It's just so jaggy. The smoke on the PlayStation shows the tiny dots, which is a nice effect. When zoomed in on her face, you can see the tiny dots in the smoke on the GameCube now. I saved this next part until the end because I generally don't compare PC emulation, but I figured it would give us a better look at the textures without all the bad aliasing and blurriness getting in the way. Let's look at PCSX2 at max settings at 4K versus Dolphin max settings at 4K. Look at the alien's armband, way better on the Dolphin. Same with his hand. Overall, better on the Dolphin. His arm is a tangled mess on both, but what I want you really to see is his fingers. Both generally don't have them, but at least on the Dolphin, there's some lines to separate them. Check out the side of the ship, no textures on the Dolphin. Even when you see the back, there's nothing there. I wonder if it's an emulation thing on the Dolphin's part. Let's look. Yep, still missing on the official GameCube gameplay. Here the people in the background are different, not sure why. Okay, no more emulation. Back to actual hardware. The door doesn't shimmer on the PS2. Glass does shimmer like on the GameCube, just not in this shot. The texture is better here on the PS2, and this guy is missing on the PlayStation 2. But wait, Here he is, he's over here. I do feel Jango is a smidget better on the PlayStation 2 overall. Look, here's the deal. I always have a hard time picking a winner, because if the game controls the same and has minor differences, there really isn't a bad version to play. I do prefer the PlayStation 2 version mainly because the controls feel better, but there isn't a bad choice here. If you want to play the best looking one, play the PlayStation 4 or emulation on PC. Well, that's all I have for you today. If you could please hit that like button, it helps YouTube show this video to others. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Take it easy, everyone.